You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello and welcome to episode 283 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, March 15th, 2020, Apocalypse Edition.
X-Ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. Roger, you're 1930.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. What the hell, it works on Star Trek.
Hey, it's Sean.
Josh.
And Kitty.
How's it going?
Wondering about the edition.
It's Apocalypse Edition. It's coronavirus time. I wasn't going to talk about it because we don't normally talk about what's going on in the world, but
it's everywhere.
But it's everywhere, and it's kind of unavoidable, and some of the topics that we're going to talk about touch on it.
So,
seeing as how it's all they talk about on social media,
I can't take it
popular,
anymore. It's driving me crazy.
And it's definitely a culture, quote unquote.
So
is it technically popular culture?
It is. However, I did think...
The kind you grow in a petri dish.
I thought the end of the world would be a lot more fun.
Well, that's because you're not raiding anything.
I'm not raiding. I'm not looting. I'm not buying all the toilet paper.
Well, that's dumb.
Me not buying toilet paper is dumb? Or buying all the toilet paper?
Yeah, buying all the toilet paper. Bidets all the way. Paying for butt paper is dumb, and I never realized it until now. What a waste of money.
Yeah.
And paper. Could you imagine being a tree? Beautiful, majestic tree to become toilet paper? What a sad life. On to better things!
Yay! And Josh, how's your health?
not bad.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Sitting about a 90% this week.
Right on. You're functioning within normal parameters.
No.
No?
I'm at 90% of normal parameters.
Yeah, that's okay. That's pretty normal. Anything above 75 is not bad.
Yeah, my normal parameters are pretty low, though.
Ah, so you're lower than normal for you.
Yes.
Oh, and you? You're okay? You're good? You're fine?
I'm good at smiling.
Yay! Good at smiling. So, what should we talk about first?
Get to it. You know you want to jump into it.
I don't really.
Yeah, it's what you want to do, though.
Do I want to? Is that what I want? How do you know that that's what I want?
Because generally...
I'm weirdly excited about it every week.
I'm not excited.
I think it's just that you like having news that everybody
can relate
needs to know
well,
and still cares about on some level.
Well, of course. Because it's good to let the listeners know what's been happening in the geekosphere and in the world at large and all that kind of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our celebrity death of the week is Max von Sydow, and he died at the age of 90. So I'll just read the first couple paragraphs of the article because it's a huge article on our Facebook page that you can find on Facebook. That's the Rusted Robot. Actor Max von Sydow, who appeared in films and TV series including The Exorcist, Flash Gordon, and Game of Thrones, died at the age of 90. His family announced with a broken heart and infinite sadness that the Swedish-born actor died on Sunday, so that was a week ago. His film credits include Hannah and Her Sisters, The Seventh Seal, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. He was nominated for 2 Oscars during his career, including Best Actor in 1988 for Hell the Conqueror, and his other Academy nomination was Best Supporting Actor for his role in 2011, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. He had a fruitful run of 11 films with legendary Swedish director Ingmar Bergman, including The Seventh Seal, in which he famously played chess with death. The article goes on and on and on, talking about all the roles that he had and his long career. It's a really good article, and I suggest you all check it out. But that's the only celebrity death that I came across this week.
90's a pretty good run.
That is a pretty good run, yes. I think so as well.
I liked a lot of his work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was your favorite?
I liked him in Game of Thrones, even though I didn't really watch very much of it.
Oh.
He's a pretty good actor.
Yes, definitely.
Although his most acclaimed works I haven't seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's time you check that out.
88, so I didn't watch many adult films from 88. Right.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
Yeah, it's 7 at the time, so 6/7, depending on when it came out. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
You should. So did you hear Tom Hanks has the coronavirus? And did you hear that our Prime Minister's wife has it as well?
Yeah.
I heard the Prime Minister's wife. I did not hear Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson.
That is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the few diseases that is starting to impact the rich first.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of happy about
travel.
it. It's because they travel. And
I
they
don't want Tom Hanks to have it, though.
It's true, but...
Doesn't mean he's going to die from it.
I know, but apparently it makes you feel like you're drowning, and that sounds awful.
That does sound awful. I would not want to drown.
Well, no, you only feel like you're drowning. You won't actually drown. Unless you do.
So, yeah. It's one of It's one of the things. The disease seems to impact the rich more at this point because they're traveling more.
Yes.
Yeah, because those poor people don't get to go nowhere.
Yeah. So, but they're bringing it places. So.
Yeah, that part sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're primary vectors for the disease.
Am I the only one not panicking?
Not panicking?
I'm not panicked.
I'm not panicked.
Are you worried?
Of course I'm worried. It's a
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah. Is it though?
It is.
Is it made up? Do you think? Do you think it's one of those things that the rich made up so that they can control the world?
No.
No, you don't think so?
No, I think it's just a naturally... Because, like,
It's a disease.
the coronavirus is called coronavirus because it's largely like a fever that's one of the main symptoms.
Yeah.
And the flu, like the regular flu that we get, is also a coronavirus. It's just that they just called this one that because they didn't have a name for it yet because it's a new strain of a flu. But no, I don't think anybody like made it up. I think a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion because the incubation period is so long without any symptoms that you have it before you know, and then you can infect a lot of other people.
So it's got a high transmissibility like that.
So like that part sucks, but apparently kids barely show any symptoms,
Right.
and they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they bounce back like nothing.
That's what I heard too.
And it's mostly adult people, and
The elderly
the
and,
ones
and
who
who
are
are
the
already
most
sick.
concerned are often a lot of, old rich people really like when things don't affect them, and this is mostly going to affect them. So, because they're the ones who control and talk to the media, I could see maybe why they're slightly more panicked than other people.
The other day, I was at work, and I heard two old people talking just outside the jewelry store, right? Because they're buying jewelry, and they stopped to talk to each other because one showed up. And they're complaining about the coronavirus, and one said to the other, like, I don't understand why we can't just get these young people to just stay at home, go to work, and then go home again. They shouldn't be going out and convorting. They're spreading it around, and they're going to get us sick, and that's not right.
Which is silly because all we ever do is work and then go home.
Right.
Because young people are poor and don't get to go out anywhere and do
And they were
things.
out and they're old and they're
Yes.
out cavorting.
Yeah.
Okay.
They wanted to put a lockdown on the young people.
Of course.
I'd be okay with that. Like, as long as we didn't have to pay any bills in the meantime.
Oh, no, they expect us to pay our bills. They expect us to pay their bills.
In Italy, there's no... none of your utility bills require to be paid until this is over and your mortgage isn't up. Like, you're forgiven for this month.
Cool.
Still have to go to work though.
No.
I can't work from home.
Yeah, but also, like, you don't need to interact with people.
Yeah, I do.
Well,
I have to
and
get signatures. And I get mail from all over the world. So I think, I was saying to my...
you can refuse the signatures.
I was saying to my supervisor the other day, I'm like, you know what? We get mail from all over the world. So us as letter carriers are the most susceptible to be infected by this stuff. We should shut down for a couple weeks as well.
Except it's a person-to-person contact only.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't want to go to work anymore.
Nobody wants to.
Yeah.
Well, I like working.
We'll buy you a hazmat suit, and you can wear that around.
Oh, that would be so much fun. That would be fun.
I don't. Those are hot and uncomfortable. I don't think they.
I'm always hot, or
cold.
rather, always cold. I don't mind being hot. I'd love to live in a hazmat suit.
Okay, how about I work in your comic book store and you deliver my mail?
I can't even work in my comic book store.
What?
Yeah, starting very shortly, I will be working at the Pita Pit, probably.
You need to explain yourself, Lucy.
Taxes suck.
Oh.
Taxes and CPP.
Yeah.
Taxes, CPP, plus this coronavirus is keeping some people at home.
Aha.
So that's all a lot of fun.
They got screwed on a technicality, and CPP wasn't being taken out
Oh.
since they incorporated.
This doesn't mean the end of the comic book shop, does it?
No, because I have to go work at the Pita Pit now.
But your sister gets to
Yeah.
keep going at the
Well,
store?
one of us has to, yeah.
Okay.
So the store's up, store's running, it's fine.
Okay.
The store's making money.
Good.
It's just that they owe so much in CPP that to pay it back, Katie's not going to take money.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's going to go work somewhere else until it's paid off.
I see.
Yeah.
Canada Pension Plan. That doesn't sound like fun at all.
All because of technical glitch.
Right. Should have had a good accountant.
I do actually. I have a really
It
good
wasn't the
accountant.
accountant.
Oh, whose fault was it?
The people who incorporated,
Oh.
which wasn't her normal accountant, but it was somebody else.
I don't know if it was their fault necessarily. I think it's just because I was supposed to be getting this in the mail from Canada Revenue Agency. They were supposed to send it to me in the mail.
Yes, but
I don't know if it was necessarily the previous people.
I think so. Like,
Because I don't even know if that's necessarily all just from when I went incorporated.
I think so. The amount it seems right.
Eh.
Anyways,
so you're going to have to go work somewhere else
Yeah.
in the meantime.
but the shop is up. The shop is running. It's all good.
And it's making money.
Yeah.
And your sister gets to keep working there.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Plus, I actually really enjoyed working at the Peter Pit.
And you're going to miss working at Jump City Comic Books at 38 Pine Street North
Yes.
in Timmins, Ontario?
Yeah.
You're going to miss it.
Well, yes, obviously.
Of course. But what I really want to know, have you caught up on Picard yet?
Nope. What? I don't have time at work anymore.
Oh,
This week I've had no time.
you haven't had any time in the last 5 weeks.
Well, no, I've had very little time in the last 5 weeks, and I've been watching anime.
Ah, yes, anime.
This week I did no time at lunch. Like, Friday's lunch was 20 minutes.
That's not good. What do you normally get, an hour?
An hour.
Oh boy, you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
Well, episode 8 just came out this past week, and I need to watch it again because I was watching it over at a friend's house, and it's loud over there, so I didn't really get the full impact of it. It seemed a little bit more boring than the last few episodes, but there was a lot of mythology and history added to the mythos of the series and what's going on with the synths and the Romulans and the Borg and all the things. So, Richard from Australia actually sent me a message and saying, you know what, maybe don't talk about any spoilers just yet. He's keeping up on it, but other people who listen to the podcast might not. So I'll give even less away. A little bit boring, but I do know episodes 9 and 10 are a 2-part season finale. Should be exciting, should be interesting. In the last episode, we got a very short scene with 7 of 9, but very impactful and interesting.
Oh, okay.
So I think you'd like it if you ever get past 3 episodes you've seen.
I've seen 3, yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Trek, remember last week we talked about Dan Hitch's Temporal Trek Podcast?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here is the promo for it.
Space-time, the ever-expanding frontier. These are the records of the most needlessly complicated rewatch of the Star Trek franchise ever. Its mission, to locate every second and contemplate every eon, from outside time to the Big Bang, all the way to the end of all existence. To do what no sane entity has ever done before. This is the Temporal Trek Podcast.
That's kind of the opening for his shows, each
Yeah.
episode. Have you listened to many?
I've listened to everything that's been he put up so far.
What do you think?
It's interesting. There is a slight pacing issue.
Oh?
Like, he's got a very slow and deliberate cadence.
Yes.
And if you're somebody who has attention issues, you're not going to be able to pay attention to the thing. But, like, that's it. That's my only recommendation is put a little more pep in your speak.
Okay.
That's about it. I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
He's got good, insightful things about the episodes and the segments, because he's not even full episodes for most of it right now.
Yeah.
Right now we're dealing with, like, segments and parts.
Yes.
And it's neat.
It's ambitious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So he actually sent us about a 5-minute clip explaining all the ins and outs. So I'm going to insert that right here.
Hello Sean, hello Josh, thank you so much for discussing my little podcast idea, the Temporal Trek Podcast, on the Rusted Robot. It was a welcome surprise, and thank you so much. You asked many questions, and I hope that this little segment can answer a few. And if any of the listeners want to then subscribe over to the Temporal Trek Podcast, then it'll all be answered for you. So one of the things was, Sean asked about the editing process. The idea is that I'm going from memory first. I have watched all of Star Trek, so I'm running on memory quite a bit and trying to remember all the episodes that were set at different points in time. I am going to be watching in chronological order. As Josh pointed out, the first episode of Season 1 is at the Big Bang. I have recorded 10 episodes already. That's my Season 0, where it's any segment from any movie or TV show that's set outside of recognisable time. And then you've got the Big Bang. From then on, it's going to be prehistory, recorded history, all the way up to Star Trek Enterprise. So I start with memory. I've also got many old Star Trek reference texts, chronological histories, that sort of thing. So I'm running on that for research purposes, and there's timelines and all sorts of things. Anyone remember the old Star Trek fact files? Yes, I'm using those as well. Then I go to Wiki, Wikipedia, I do a bit of research there. I'm also using the suggested guide from the Star Trek Chronology Project. It's a wonderful website. Do give it a search on Google. They have compiled every single episode in order, but looking to place it so you watch from Enterprise all the way to Picard in the right order. I'm also including multiple or parallel universes. So if you jump over to the Kelvin universe, or if you jump over to the Mirror universe, I'm watching those time adjacent. So a lot of the Kelvin universe happens adjacent to Discovery, to the original series, so I will be sort of placing most of that all alongside each other. If you have a point where you're watching a young Captain Kirk drive a car off a cliff, I watch that first, then I dip over to Discovery, then I'm coming back to the Kelvin universe as and when it's the right year. So it's a lot of research to sort of put it all together. It's taken quite a few months. That's why Season 0 was recorded so long ago in 2019, and I'm now releasing it in 2020. It's taken quite a bit of time. But I think I've managed to get to the right point. What I'm including, Josh did mention what exactly counts as time travel and that sort of thing. Time travel especially. If it is a time travel episode, yes, that is the first point. I'm not including things like simulations, holodecks. So if a character goes into a holodeck and it's Sherlock Holmes London or cowboy era or anything like that, it's a simulation. I'm not counting that as time travel, so that won't be counted as watching it in a chronological order because the characters are still in their own time period. Now the exception to that rule is when it is some sort of mind meld or an implanted memory. I see time as very much about perception as well, so if the character is almost witnessing time playing out in front of them, that I will be including. There's several mind melds. We've even just had it in Picard as well, sort of flashbacks and memories and things like that. So I'm including that as sort of seeing time, and I'm going to try and edit in as best I can. I'm not including, even under that little bit, the Inner Light as sort of a historical recording. The difference being is that Picard is experiencing sort of a greatest hits album from an old culture thousands of years ago. It's not necessarily what actually happened, but it's sort of like an approximation of what actually happened. The same way that I'm not including Sherwood Forest from the Q episode in The Next Generation as actual medieval England. It's the same sort of thing. It gets all the fine details and points, but it's not actual history. I hope that makes sense. Another point that Josh made off the back of that is how am I going to incorporate any temporal changes? What if any of the new TV shows go back in time to a point that I've already covered in the show, or go back in time and completely change the continuity? Not a problem. Like I say, I'm including parallel universes adjacent. So if they start making an entirely new rebooted universe, I will go back and record those episodes and then reinsert them into the podcast. So let's say I've already completed season 1. I'm sitting 5 years in my future right now. I will then go back and record more episodes into season 1. Now, what happens if that character jumps to a point that I've already covered and I've got episode 1, 2 and 3, but now they're slap bang in between 1 and 2? Well, what I'm going to be doing, and it sounds like a bit of a cheat, but it'll be episode 1, which already exists, episode 2 that already exists, but now I'll be recording 1A, 1B, 1C, and placing them in between all of that. It might get really fine, we could be splitting hairs, there might be so many times that I have to redo that I might have to change that as well, but we'll get there when we get there. I'm going to try and muddle my way through as best I can. A big thank you again to both Sean and Josh for just mentioning the podcast. A big thank you to Sean, especially because of the Soulforge podcast. As he mentioned on the Rusted Robot, it was his episode talking about how to put a podcast together. I'd always wanted to do it. The idea for the podcast came from another discussion. Listen to episode 1 of season 0 for me to explain that part. But the real impetus to sort of put it together and put out a podcast was down to Sean. So I'm eternally grateful and thank you very much, good sir. All that remains really for me to say is live long and prosper. I hope you enjoy listening, and I'll catch you in the next time stream.
And that explains everything.
So that brings up a formatting issue.
Formatting.
Okay, so he now explains that he will be doing, if they go back in time, he'll have to go back and put a season 1A,
B, whatever,
right, into it. And if there's another event, that becomes B.
Yeah.
But the moment he has an event A and an event B in between two episodes, that leads to episode 1A italic 1 because you could have an event between A and B in episode 1A and 1B, right? You could have an episode between that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, depending on how they go about it, because we're getting, 4 series in total going to be running concurrently?
Oh.
Discovery, Picard,
Section 31, Lower Decks, and there's an article that just came out. It's a rumor that's saying that the Pike series has been confirmed, but I haven't seen it anywhere official, so I don't know.
So 4, maybe 5 concurrent series, with all with a possibility of time travel.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of ins and outs and what have yous.
So yeah, he might end up with episode 1A, italic 1, and then italic II.
Yeah, it's going to get really confusing and complicated, especially because the Picard series opens with a flashback in every episode.
So yeah, it's gonna be neat.
And he thanked me at the end for talking about it on the Soulforge podcast and giving him the idea, but I think maybe I should apologize because he's got a lot of work ahead of him.
Yeah, but he's got a new kid. He's being the stay-at-home dad.
He is.
Well, he's gonna have the time, and he's enjoying the trek with the kid.
Yes.
We used to watch Next Generation with Damien.
No, Mina and Damien would both watch Next Gen, but Damien would also watch First Gen with me, and Mina was all about my Captain Picard.
Yeah?
Yeah. She would say, "Oh, he's my Captain Picard."
Nice.
And I'd be like, "Mina, this one's good too," and she'd be like, "No, not my Picard. Goodbye."
So yeah, he's watching it with his little son.
Yep.
And all the personal anecdotes on the podcast.
Yeah, those are all fun.
I love it. Yeah, it's like you're right there in the living room with them sometimes. So yeah, guys, listeners to Rusted Robot, if you're not listening to Temporal Trek Podcast with Dan Hitch, you owe yourself a favor to do so.
Particularly, okay, right now we're in the episode 0. So episode 01, season 01.
Yeah, before time.
Yeah, they're spread.
Yeah.
Although, a few of them, I'm like, I don't know, does that count as being outside of time?
Oh, when they're with the prophets and stuff?
Well, the being with the prophets, you're outside of time, but you're bringing time in there.
Yeah.
So, does that count as outside of time? Because there is a before and after event, right? You're bringing the linear time in, so you're imposing the linear time on their existence, which is what the disruption is. Because you're linear and they're not, and they're having to deal with you, and they don't know about things before your arrival in linear in time.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they don't know about, playing the game, they want to know the outcome of the game before it's played.
Yes.
If you're a true outside of time, you wouldn't have a before. You would just have all knowledge that you will ever have immediately.
Yes, exactly. That's what I thought too with the prophets, but...
So the prophets are themselves outside of time, but their interactions with us impose linear time on them?
Yes.
And does that, because now we have forced a state of...
Linear interaction,
does that not pull them from their outside of time nature and instead put them into a forced time constraint? And so does that mean the prophets are no longer outside of time because Cisco interacted with them? And if so, wouldn't Cisco's interacting with them negate their outside of timeness? And what about the previous prophet?
Right.
Not the previous prophet. The guy that first went in, but not the first to come back out.
Yes. Because
there was a whole episode.
The guy from 200 years earlier.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's complicated, but Dan's doing a great job.
Yeah, but particularly season 0 is going to bring up questions. We're dealing with stuff outside of time, and he's doing outside of time and then appearance order, because they're all concurrent / not related in any way, shape, or form because they're outside of time.
It's complicated.
Yeah. Also, the Q episode, I think, shouldn't count as outside of time, because they too have their own timeline.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
So they're not living as outside of time like the Nexus is living outside of time, whatever that is, right? Or the space beyond space where imagination is a thing, right? Those places are outside of time inherently.
Yeah.
The Q have their own time. It's just not a time we understand.
Well, Dan's doing the best he can.
Oh, it is. I'm not saying he's doing a bad job.
Okay, good.
What I'm saying is this particular season is one of those ones where you have questions. Because,
And any good podcast will
makes
bring
you
up
think.
questions. That's
yeah,
right.
that's what I'm saying. It's like there are a lot of thinkers in this.
Definitely.
I think the Q in particular are ones where I think their outside of time nature might not apply. They'd have time. I think they would be time adjacent, but I don't think they'd be outside of time completely. Now, they have control over time,
Yeah.
but they clearly have a past, present, and future,
Yes, they do.
and they don't know what the future is.
Right, because they're all powerful, but they're not all knowing.
Yes, and when you have two all-powerful beings working in opposition to each other, you don't know what the outcome's going to be.
Exactly.
Because then we get into imagination of what can I think up that would outwit my opponent. And then we have the Q war.
That does exist outside of time, though.
No, it doesn't. Because we saw after we meet Quinn, right? Mm-hmm. There's the Civil War.
Yeah.
And there are stars blowing up that shouldn't be blowing up.
True enough.
Now, if it was truly outside of time, the interaction with time would happen sporadically against all of time. And I think they also may be limited to our galaxy in a way, because what do we see? We see the stars blowing up in our galaxy. Shouldn't they be blowing up everywhere across the universe?
Maybe they are.
The billions and billions of galaxies?
Probably.
Throughout all of time, they should have been doing this, though. So I think they are, in a way, linked to our time, because Q clearly has a time relation. We meet Q and we interact with him on a linear basis.
Yeah.
We never meet a Q from an earlier point in his timeline.
No.
When we interact with him. So it's not like we meet Q, we interact with Q, and then we run into Q before we met him.
No, exactly.
So Q is always linear. So I think when when Q travels through time, it's like his other Q simulations. Mm-hmm. Like, Sherwood Forest. We're not actually traveling through time to Sherwood Forest. We're in a Q simulation. So maybe going back in time is another Q simulation.
Could be. Well, it's a lot to think about, and we'll move right along because we have other things to talk about. But Temporal Trek, check it out.
It causes you to ask questions.
It certainly does. And I hope our listeners are checking it out.
I like the way it sounds.
Have you listened to it?
Well, that little clip that he sent us?
Yeah.
I like how the music is there, but it doesn't overpower him. And I like how his voice sounds with it being there. It sounds nice. It's a pleasant... His clip was very pleasant to listen
And
to.
his podcast is even better, so check it out. Temporal Trek. Anyway, let's talk about other things. The Guardians of the Galaxy will appear in Thor: Love and Thunder.
To be expected.
Okay. Lost in Space has been renewed for a third and final season on Netflix.
Okay. That's good. People like that show.
So we'll get the conclusion at least, because they always saw it as a trilogy, they said in this article.
Sure.
But I don't know if that's true or not, but at least we're getting the third season so they can wrap it all up, because excellent series. I know you guys couldn't stand it, but...
yeah, we didn't finish episode 1.
you didn't finish episode 1, I know. It's very sad.
I finished episode 1.
Did you?
I watched it all the way through.
You should finish all of it, all 2 seasons. And then wait eagerly for 2021 when season 3 comes out.
No, that's okay.
And if you're waiting for 2021, apparently the Lord of the Rings TV series on Amazon Prime is going to come out December 2021. If everything goes according to plan and on schedule. And all.
Julie has Prime.
I'm not going to watch it.
You're not going to watch the Lord of the Rings?
No. I love Lord of the Rings. I hate Amazon. I refuse.
All right.
Yeah, sorry.
We can watch it through a pirating service.
I'm okay with pirating from Amazon.
There you go.
Because Jeff Bezos is an evil overlord
Yep.
who treats his employees like crap.
Yeah.
And we do not approve.
Although recently he did something nice.
Did he? What did he do nice?
Okay, go ahead.
So him, like Amazon and eBay, some people have been, being profiteers in the panic of the virus.
Yeah.
And people were selling toilet paper, hand sanitizer, masks. They bought in bulk, and they're gouging the price online.
Right.
Yeah, and then Amazon and eBay made it so that they can no longer do that. But they, like Amazon, the company, is still totally selling toilet paper.
Oh yeah, Amazon's still selling toilet paper, but they're not gouging the prices.
They're not, but also they buy it at cheaper than grocery stores can get it. So
Yes, but they're still selling it at the prices they were selling it previously.
Yeah, so like that part is good.
So if it's just a super competitive business and you're like undercutting because you have the power to undercut, that's that's modern
thing to do. But
that's modern
still,
business.
Yeah.
They're not gouging.
Did you hear about the kid in the UK who got suspended from school for selling squirts of hand sanitizer for 50 cents a pop to his classmates?
That's funny and awful.
Why would he be suspended for that?
Because he was profiting.
So
they suspended him.
You're not supposed to sell stuff in school at all.
It was 50 pence per squirt for the classmates, and that translates to like 70 cents US.
Okay.
And he made $11.
But he's not selling a service at a gouged price if that service is not available.
I have a feeling he was just suspended from selling things from his locker because you're not supposed to.
But his dad in the article said it was hard to discipline him because he's a friggin' legend. Or it was epic or something.
Yeah, well...
Way to go, kid.
Yeah.
How can you discipline your kid for being entrepreneurial? And it's not really lots. It's 50 cents.
It's not that bad.
So I can see the argument for profiteering.
Yeah.
But if the school had been supplying hand sanitizer, like they should in a condition like a pandemic, then he would have no market.
Exactly.
It's the fact that he has a market that is not being tended to.
That's right.
But you don't even need hand sanitizer.
He was
like you
feeling
can use it, but soap is enough to kill it. Just
yeah,
soap
but
and
you
water.
can't wash your hands all the time, but you can give yourself a quick rub with
yeah, but in school, you can. You can just go to the bathroom and wash your hands.
Except teachers don't let you go.
Cough on them.
Oh, that's what I wanted to know. So
that's considered assault now.
Well, they're not going to grab you and stop you.
A woman was complaining about service on a plane, and she deliberately coughed on the flight attendant, and she was tackled, tied up, and arrested for assault.
But that doesn't make any sense. If you're afraid of somebody coughing on you, but you're willing to touch them with your hands.
Yeah, it's all very complicated.
It's all becoming insane.
It is crazy. So this week coming up is March break, where the kids are out of school for a week.
Yes.
But the Ontario government decided to extend March break for 2 extra weeks.
Yeah.
How are you guys handling that situation?
Just fine.
Yeah? Because people are freaking out.
Yeah. Well, but my children come to work with me all the time anyway.
So it's fine.
Yeah. Plus, they're really pretty well educated. Like, yesterday they watched Bill Nye and Brainchild, and they played some games. There's a Scholastic website where they can do 3 hours of learning a day. There's a lot of different things to keep them, like, entertained, happy, and educated. It's just that you need a place to keep them.
That's true. So I shared an article on the Facebook page. Coronavirus cancellations. Every film, TV show, and event affected by the outbreak. Everything is canceled. Everything's been closed. Sports are gone, which we don't care about.
I watched a clip of international soccer game, and the stadium had like 200 people in it. It looked so empty. And there's a shot of the guy kicking a goal, and he's celebrating, and it's dead quiet.
That would be weird.
I'm like you can see him like all jazzed, and then he just looks across the thing, and it's kind of, oh yeah.
There's nobody here. Yeah, but it's being televised.
He's being televised, but
they should have should have played the cheering of the crowds on the loudspeakers.
Because the roar of the crowd is part of the game.
Yeah, it gives the opposition, distracts from their spirit, like, oh, the crowd's really against us, and it buoys up the people when you can hear them rooting for you, even if you're losing. So, like, yeah, it has an effect on the game. The crowd has an effect.
Yeah, definitely.
And, like, if you're Philadelphia, they throw batteries at you.
It's a bit weird to think about that, like, professional sports people, like, because they're lucky enough to be being paid to do a thing that other people do, like, that we pay to do because we just enjoy it. And then, say if any of us enjoyed sports, right? And then we pay to go and do the sports. Nobody's watching us. Nobody's cheering for us. We're just playing because we enjoy the game. We don't need people to bolster our spirits to be like, yeah, we're winning, or for us to feel like disheartened when somebody else gets a goal, because we're just playing because we enjoy the spirit of the game. But it's weird to see how greatly affected people who are used to being cheered for.
Well,
it's like we're taking their power away. Ah, my power!
It's not just that, but like if you go watch just a little league game when no parents are there, the game feels different than when you have a crowd of people watching the game and cheering it on. Not even the professional level sports. Any level of sports, once you have a crowd there cheering on and giving you encouragement.
Yeah, once they're used to it, then they can't live without it, and it's like watching a balloon deflate.
No, it happens with any sport, even if it's your first time playing the sport with a crowd.
Yeah.
The swell of the crowd helps raise your spirits.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're used to it. Well,
professional ones are.
They
totally
have it
used
happening.
to it. So it's weird when they don't have it.
Yeah, but it's still not. It's not like it's like they expect it.
No, but it is odd
sometimes.
to see the lack of cheering, how much it affects them, because like whether or not they're expecting it, they're used to it. Mm-hmm. So they're like conditioned to feel it, and it's odd the effects that it has on them. And I assume it's probably a real, like a physical effect, because it would have.
Well, it'd be a clear emotional blow on to them.
I know, and just it's weird. It's weird to watch it because it is like watching the power get sucked out of them. I don't know. I just think it's neat, the science of the human body.
It is very, very interesting.
So what else has been canceled?
Well, lots of things. But you know what hasn't been canceled? Us playing a promo for another podcast here on the ESO Network, such as this promo right here for the Watchathon of Rassilon.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
And I'm Tony Heath.
And we host the Watchathon of Rassilon.
A journey through all of Doctor Who, one serial at a time.
Listen in and you will learn about true facts.
Tune in and hear our
final facts. Find out how little we actually know about science, history,
Doctor Who,
and pretty much anything else.
The Watchathon of Rassilon.
A proud member of the ESO Network.
Available wherever you get your podcast fix.
Keep calm and Rassilon.
Goodbye, and I love you.
And they're a Doctor Who podcast. So there you go. What hasn't been canceled? I don't know, but Disney World has been closed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The NBA season has been canceled.
Mm-hmm.
All the film festivals have been shut down.
Metro Toronto Zoo's closed.
Right. Like, everything's closed down, gone. Mm-hmm. I still have to go to work. But,
I still want people to come to my workplace.
Where is that again?
Jump City. It's in the basement of the 101 Mall, 38 Pine Street North, Timmins, Ontario, Canada.
You can buy stuff there.
Yeah.
Like comic books.
Cool stuff.
And collectibles. So, just looking at this article that I shared, we've got Universal halted filming on Jurassic World Domination. Apple closed all retail locations outside of China. Last week tonight with John
They
Oliver.
closed all locations outside of China?
Outside of China. Until March 27th.
Okay.
Yep. Los Angeles County Museum of Art's temporarily closing. The Flash has been put on hiatus. The San Francisco International Film Festival has canceled this year's edition. The French Institute Alliance in New York, which regularly hosts screenings and film programming, will shut its doors indefinitely as of March 16th. And HBO halted production on Season 2 of The Righteous Gemstones, delayed the start of production for Season 2 of Euphoria. Snowpiercer has been put on hold. There's so many things. Like, this article just goes on and on and on and on. I'm not going to read it all because there's too much stuff.
I don't know. I don't think it's too terrible. Like, because if it takes 14 days for the incubation period for you to find out whether or not you're sick, if everybody stays home for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And at the end of 2 weeks, if you're not sick, you're fine and you get to go. But if at the end of 2 weeks somebody in your household is sick, it'll show up by then and then you can be quarantined. So, like...
And speaking of hospitals, the soap opera at General Hospital has suspended production starting... it'll start up again until the 16th of May, apparently.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. I don't think it's a terrible thing. Just take 2 weeks off.
Why not?
Except people aren't quarantining like they should be. Like, if you think you might have been exposed, you should go into quarantine.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm seeing more people...
Out everywhere? Yeah, I know.
Going to stores because they're in a panic. Mm-hmm. I'm like, if one of you is sick, you potentially affect everybody here.
Uh-huh.
Because you need 4,000 rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah. Well, like, even the night where here in Timmins, when all the toilet paper disappeared, because it happened in one day.
Yeah,
which was the dumbest thing in the world. But the day when that happened, I was out getting a poster frame, which I didn't need. But I wasn't there for anything else. And I think people were confused that that's what I was getting.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I didn't need it, and I didn't need to be out in a public space. But I didn't think there'd be so many people running around all crazy.
I haven't been to a store in a week because I haven't needed anything. But apparently there's nothing to go buy now anyway, so...
Well, I didn't need anything. I was just getting something because we had a poster come in and I wanted it in a frame.
Of course, I get it.
Like, the two things that are selling the biggest, I don't understand. toilet paper. Why? This disease is a lung-based infection, so it's not like you're going to be using that much more toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
If you're prepping for total isolation, 28 rolls should do most families for a month.
I would think so.
Right? Assuming that it's one father, a mother, and 2 daughters, a roll a day would be pretty good?
I don't know. I don't think we even go through a roll a day.
Yeah, but we're 2 and 2.
Plus, we don't, use excessive amounts of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Some people make themselves, an oven mitt.
Right. And bottled water. There's water in your sink.
Yeah,
in your tap.
there's still water in the tap. I don't understand that either.
The what are they called? Utilities are not shutting down.
Yeah, it's not like another type of natural disaster, hurricane, tornado, earthquake, where there might be...
We've had droughts a couple times. We've had water mains break where you don't have water.
But, everybody should, already have a fallback supply of water. I've got 30 liters of water that is tap water that I refresh every so often.
Also, even if we did have a water main break while we're under quarantine, we're in northern Ontario. There's frozen water right outside. We can just go scoop up water, bring it inside, and then it becomes water.
But people don't think.
Then you gotta boil the hell out of it.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Most of our water's consumed by tea anyway.
Right. So see, we are quarantined for a couple weeks. Okay. There are so many podcasts that you can listen to.
There are.
The TV is still working. You got
Speaking of which, we started... Well, Josh is already on season 3, I think. And I have just started season 1 of Castlevania.
Oh, yeah, I saw that season 3 was out. I put it on my list. I got to watch that because I'm enjoying that.
It's pretty good.
I like it a lot.
I only just started. It's pretty good.
Yes. But I came across an article here from Gizmodo. They released an article back in 2014 of the 13 greatest science fiction comedies of all time.
Ooh.
So this is something you could binge watch for your 2 weeks of isolation. So I'm not going to talk about the description of the movie. I'm just going to say what they are. So the first one they listed on number 13 was Mystery Men. Have you guys watched that movie?
Yes.
Is it good?
Is that the one with the spleen?
That's the one with the spleen.
I've never watched it.
It's funny.
Okay. How about Safety Not Guaranteed? That's a time travel movie.
Nope.
I've watched that one. It's interesting.
It's weird and it's interesting. They've got a double feature here. This Is the End and The World's End.
Nope, never seen it.
The World's End is good. This Is the End I haven't seen yet.
Okay. And then we've got Spaceballs, which I hate.
Spaceballs is amazing.
I freaking hate that movie.
It is one of our children's favorite movies.
Of course. Number 9, they have Cabin in the Woods. That was a good film. Did you see that one? I wouldn't say it's necessarily a comedy, but...
Isn't it a horror, kind of?
Yeah, it's kind of a horror film.
Because, like Jason
Thor.
and Friday the 13th, those are also horror, even though they're funny.
Yes. For number 8, they've got a double feature of Army of Darkness and Shaun of the Dead.
Ooh, those are good.
So these are more than 13 movies, but yeah, those are both good. And then we've got, at number 7, Groundhog Day.
Yep.
At number 6, they listed Tremors.
Love Tremors.
Love Tremors, definitely. And at number 5...
I recently rewatched the Tremors TV series.
It was good, right?
Did you? I loved that series.
Yeah.
El Blanco.
At number 5, they have Ghostbusters.
Excellent
Which
movie.
you guys also love.
Yep.
And I can't stand. Number
You don't like Ghostbusters?
I hate Ghostbusters. I can't stand it.
Really?
Yeah, it's just one of those ones I just don't like. Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2 is Damien's favorite movie of all time.
Nice. At number 4, they have Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home.
Hello, computer.
That's a sci-fi comedy. That's a good one. At number 3, Sleeper, which is a film from the 70s from Woody Allen, which I've seen most of, but not all of. He plays a robot in the future.
I don't remember that one.
Probably not. It's not very well known. Number 2, one of the best films ever, Galaxy Quest. You like that one?
Not really.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it. I didn't particularly.
Which one's Galaxy Quest?
That's one with Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, that one's funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And what do you think they have for number 1 of the best sci-fi comedies of all time?
Coneheads.
Nope.
Ghostbusters?
Nope.
He already said Ghostbusters.
You weren't paying attention. You were scrolling. They made a trilogy out of it.
Oh God.
It's got a futuristic car.
Back to the Future?
You got it. That's the number 1 sci-fi comedy of all time.
I'm kind of sad Coneheads isn't on there. I really, really love that movie. It's ridiculous. That one's definitely a comedy. And it's well done.
Think so?
Isn't it Dan Aykroyd?
It is. And Gene Curtin.
I freaking love that movie.
From Keaton Alley.
I have it downstairs.
Why?
Because it's funny.
Okay, that's a good reason, I guess. Oh, so speaking of movies and things to do and watch, we've got a trailer. The Invisible Man came out. I haven't seen it, but I know a couple people who did, and I only met them twice because they're friends of my new girlfriend, and I don't know what their threshold for entertainment is, but they gave The Invisible Man a 7 out of 10 rating.
Okay.
And they said it was good, but it was a little bit too long.
Okay.
So that's hearsay. I haven't seen it myself. You guys haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it, no.
No. And Bloodshot never came to Timmins, so we haven't been able to see that
Really?
either. No. Yeah.
There's a lot of movies that never came to Timmins.
Speaking of watched and having watched and going to watch, you were going to check out Don Machi. Is it okay to pick up a girl in a dungeon?
Oh, I haven't even.
That one's so good.
I added it to my Netflix queue.
Oh, yeah, you got to watch it.
It doesn't take long.
No?
Season 3 is coming.
It's a short series. You can watch the whole thing. What did we watch? Both seasons in 2 days.
Yeah.
I haven't been home enough to watch anything.
So. Well, now you will be.
Right. Under quarantine.
I think that they should just forgive things for the month. Because that's the best way to just make sure people don't have to go anywhere.
Keep paying us and let us all stay home for a month. That would be awesome. I would love that.
Well, I don't think they can keep paying you. But
yes, they have to keep paying us.
Well,
because the government's doing a whole aid package, so let's do it.
Well, I think
let's just print more money.
Just that you're...
The mail can wait.
I wouldn't make any money.
The government's going to pay you too. It's fine.
No, that's what I mean though. Is they can't keep paying us. What they could do though is forgive all of our bills.
Yes, that would be fine too.
Yeah.
Stop taking money out of my account automatically for mortgage and whatever else.
Yeah.
Yeah, insurance and stuff.
Just for 1 month.
Just for 1 month. It's fine.
Because then you can make sure everybody who needs to stay home does.
That's a good idea.
Let them recover.
And there should be government workers in hazmat suits that go door to door like the milkman of old and just give us groceries.
Well,
so some sort of carrier to bring things to you.
Yeah.
Like a postal worker.
Yeah, but not me. Anybody but me.
So Sean's they're gonna put you in a hazmat suit and make you carry groceries to everybody's house.
That sounds like something that would happen to me, Josh.
I feel like I would enjoy that.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm. Let's do that.
So
I really want a hazmat suit, and
I've worn one for work.
I'm one of those people who needs something to do. So even if I was infected, if I was in the suit though, I couldn't be infecting other people, and I need something to do. I need to be doing something.
I have so many books and so many Netflix shows to catch up on that I would not be bored.
Oh no, I need to move.
I don't need to move.
I feel like delivering things would make me happy and feel
getting
helpful.
up from the couch to go get snacks and go to the bathroom is enough movement for me.
Oh, wow.
I would be okay with that.
We should share a little bit of our energies somehow.
Yeah.
Where I could be slightly more okay with just lying around doing nothing.
Because I'm quite okay with it.
And you could be enthused about going places. Really, you're working the wrong job.
I know, I hate it. It's awful.
You should give me your legs.
Yes, because this is not a job that suits me. I'm standing upright, outside, interacting with the public. All things I hate.
I love all of those things.
Yeah.
It's just my leg doesn't work.
Oh.
Give me your leg.
You can have my leg.
Yeah, you're not using it.
You don't need the whole leg. You just need the tendon.
Okay, give me your tendon.
Uh-huh.
I'll take your job.
Can I work at the comic book store?
Sure, but you get $3 an hour.
Oh. Well, okay, no.
Treatsies! You're stuck now, brother!
Then I'm moving in with you guys because I won't be able to afford my mortgage.
Okay, but you get to live in the pantry, and that's it.
Well, there's food there, that's fine.
Canor.
All right.
You live on noodles.
Hey, so the final trailer for Black Widow came out.
I tell people my sister moved out west. You're a science teacher. Your husband, he renovates houses. You're thinking about moving, but you're gonna wait until the interest rates go down.
That's not my story. Before I was an Avenger, I made mistakes. And a lot of enemies.
His call sign's Taskmaster. He controls the Red Room. They're manipulated, fully conscious, but no choices.
I should have come back for you. How many others are there?
Enough.
We have to go back to where it all started. So they never do that to anyone again.
We're a family. We fight with you.
You won't win.
I've always found it best not to look into the past.
Okay, you got a plan, or shall I just stay duck and cover?
My plan was to drive us away.
Well, your plan sucks.
At some point, we all have to choose between what the world wants you to be and who you are. I made my choice. I'm done running. Here's what's gonna happen.
Natasha, don't slouch.
I'm not slouching.
You're going to get a back hunch.
Listen to your mother.
Oh my god, this...
Up.
All right, enough. All of you.
I didn't say anything. That's not fair.
I'm not pleased with it.
It looks weird.
This is actually the best trailer of the 3 that they've released. Maybe it's because the music is exciting and it's upping the adventure and action.
So, okay.
I didn't think it was action-y, adventure-y enough.
This trailer here?
Yeah.
Oh, see, the first 2 trailers were very boring and slow-paced.
I found this one boring and slow-paced. How much more boring and slow-paced could they make it?
I don't know. That's a good
Like,
question.
okay, so, but my standards, I usually like everything. I think it's just because the tone of Black Widow's character was already set for me with Avengers.
Yes.
So I'm expecting, like, Avengers.
Style action?
Like, we've seen her before. We know what her character is. You don't have to build the character. We know what to expect.
Yeah.
A little bit of character development, that's fine. We're going to expect that. But we know what she is already. We know what she's about.
Yeah, this is a prequel.
Except it's not a prequel.
Not really?
Not really.
But it is.
Because she doesn't get her own movie afterward. She's not going to get her own... She's dead.
She's dead.
And
She's
they didn't
dead,
bring her
so
back, even though they could have brought her it back.
Yes.
They had the Time Stone.
Right.
They had the Soul Stone.
Yes, all the things.
But they didn't.
They didn't.
But, no, because she was destroyed by the Soul Stone. That sacrifice cannot be undone. Just like you can't bring back Tony.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm still sad about Tony.
Because he was destroyed by the stones.
Is it because his death was so much more, like, emotional, the way that it happened?
Yeah, it was pivotal.
Is it because we were looking into his face when he died?
I love you 3000!
Yeah. Because, like, she died in the same movie, but everybody's like, oh, Tony!
No,
she also died.
Like,
wasn't it the same movie?
It was the same movie, but, like, that scene of sacrifice did not play as well.
And you just watched her fall like a dummy. Whoo, like a crash test dummy just falling.
Yeah.
And then you saw her body afterward. Is it because we were looking into Tony's eyes when he died? That's awful.
And Tony was the original character that we met and fell in love with back in 2008.
And technically, the sacrifice that Tony makes, it's made at a pivotal moment, whereas her sacrifice,
it's so early on in the movie, and then they come back and they have, like, weird things that happen, like jokes and witty comments and action, and...
Yeah, so it
doesn't stick with you in the same way.
Yeah, so there's that. But...
And we never had the opportunity to get as attached to her, because she was only ever just a side character and didn't have her own movies.
Exactly. So, like, I was expecting a prequel. Like, pre-Iron Man 2, some kind of story taking place then.
Right.
This isn't that. This is sometime after Avengers.
Is it?
In fact, this is sometime after
because it's not in the
Winter
time where
Soldier.
She's not being raised in that weird ballet thing that we got, like, weird glimpses of in the beginning of the first Avengers movie. Was it the first one?
I'm not sure.
Well, in any case, I was kind of expecting the prequel to be like that, but instead a lot of it is some action, and then a lot of it is her sitting around a table getting drunk.
Because, like, we know it takes place after Winter Soldier, because we see Taskmaster mimicking T'Challa's fighting style. He would not have seen T'Challa's fighting style until after Winter Soldier, where he is where his dad is no longer the Panther, right?
Yeah. Where
it's him, because his dad dies, he becomes the Black Panther, he becomes the king of Wakanda. So it's after that point. So it's after the death of his dad that this is taking place.
Okay.
Right? It has to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's a weird...
So it's taking place...
It's not really a prequel. It's just a weird standalone Black Widow movie that takes place during Avengers, but after Avengers.
So it takes place sometime after... It's after Avengers 2, and it's after Winter Soldier. So, like, it's right... the earliest it can be is right in Winter Soldier. That's the earliest it can take place.
Okay.
Which is okay. It might still be good. It's just I was expecting more from the trailer.
Right.
And it could be because Disney's not bad at making trailers so that not all of the best parts of the movie are in the trailer, which DC's known for.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just expected more.
So I am not as jazzed about this as I thought I was going to be. I thought I was getting a pre-Iron Man 2 story.
Maybe they should make her a TV series. Like a prequel TV series would be cool.
Sure.
And even, it could lead right up into the whole, like, take place before, like, long before Avengers, and then it could even take place, like, during Avengers when she's building that crew. Like, she becomes, like, the weird head force, because she's had military training, and also is an Avenger. That would also be cool. But I think it'd be much better as a show.
But we're getting the movie at the beginning of May, so we'll just have to see how that goes.
Well, I just want them to do this, too.
Yep.
They can do both.
Like, I'm going to watch it, because Marvel has yet to screw up. Well, not for a long time, since Thor 2.
Well, that was pretty bad, but...
Yeah. But, so we haven't seen a major flub by Marvel's for a long time. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to check it out. But I don't like where the story looks like it's going.
Yeah.
It could be
a lot
better,
And, like, if it is a prequel, like, taking place much earlier...
Mm-hmm.
Then you have things to explain, like where did Taskmaster learn T'Challa's fighting style? Because he's got to watch you, and up until that point, he was hidden. They didn't show off. They were in hiding.
Yep. So, it has questions. We need answers. We'll get to see it in a couple months. It's exciting.
I'm hoping it's good.
I'm hoping it's good.
Black Widow deserves a good movie. I was really disappointed she really didn't get one.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And then Wonder Woman comes out in June.
So. Oh, I really like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
Let's see if they can continue what they did with the first one.
Oh, I hope they do. It's one of the only DC movies where I came out and I was like, that was a really good movie.
Except for that last bit, you could see everything that was happening.
I know! That was my favorite part.
It was so bright and colorful.
Plus, all of the Amazons were, like...
badasses?
Believably armored.
Mm-hmm.
And... like, you know, they didn't need tons and tons of armor because they had big-ass shields. Plus, they are largely stronger than average people.
They're supernatural.
And they're separate from other... like, they're not going to get attacked, but they are training all the time because there's nothing else to do.
That's right.
I loved so much about that movie. And also, I cannot remember her name, but the lady who was the secretary...
Yes.
I loved her, and she
Etta Candy
is wonderful.
Or something?
Yes, she's actually now Hilda in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix, which is really good. If you guys haven't seen Sabrina,
so
it's really good.
We'll
it's
see.
Really dark though.
We'll see if DC can keep what they were doing going, or if they're going to be like, okay, now we're going to go dark.
No. No, don't change it.
And we're gonna do all the things that everybody keeps saying don't do this because it'd be terrible. Because that's what DC does.
I hope they don't.
Well,
I hope they keep like
3 months.
Whoever it was that did the first one. I hope they keep doing it.
Patty Jenkins was the director.
I don't want them.
I don't think Patty Jenkins is the director of this one, is she?
I think so.
Is she?
Yeah,
I hope she
pretty
is.
sure.
She did a really good job, but I hope she's the same. I hope whoever's the producer does what they did last time, and they just let the creative process that was happening before happen.
Yes.
I don't want them to put their input. If you're a producer, you are there for money, and you keep your face shut.
And let it flow.
You let the people who do their jobs properly do their jobs properly.
That's right.
The costuming was really well done. The lighting was exceptional.
Agreed.
I am so pleased that I got to go into a movie theater and watch something with my eyeballs.
Yay.
I don't want to go and sit in a dark room and listen to a radio podcast that occasionally has bright lights and stuff. Like, I can do that at home.
2 characters where you're supposed to see the most color are Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yes.
With their variations of the red, white, and blue, and the red, white, and gold, and the stars.
It's always red and blue, and then there's gold and sometimes silver.
Yeah. So, like, you're supposed to see, like, they're supposed to pop. Because, well, they're the biggest, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like, Batman's supposed to be dark.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be moving through the shadows. It's fine for Batman to be a dark show.
Yeah, Definitely. It makes sense. He is Batman. You can't put him in the sunshine.
No.
He's not...
But Superman is supposed to be bright and colorful. And
powered by the sun.
What do we get from the Superman shows?
Dark and broody.
And, like, washed out color. Like, his suit almost looks gray at points.
The Christopher Reeves ones are
way better.
Far superior. They're in the sunshine. He's happy-go-lucky.
He's bright. He's colorful.
Does a good transformation between being a shy, nerdy boy from the farm to being Superman. Like, he did a really good job. And they did a really good job. Some of the things, obviously, could have been done a little bit better, but that's just, I think, because it was an old movie and that's how movies were made back then. And people didn't put a lot of thought into, like, the science of it, which is fine. But when I think of Superman in movies, I think of the Christopher Reeve Superman or the Lois and Clark one.
Dean Cain.
Yeah.
Dean Cain's pretty good.
That one.
I also like the one from Supergirl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's good too.
You really get the I'm just happy to help.
Yeah.
From him.
What's his name? Isn't he also he's the Atom in
No. That's the guy that plays the Atom was Superman in Superman Returns.
Cavill?
Brandon Routh, Henry Cavill, and the guy from Supergirl is Tyler Hoechlin or something.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah.
So the guy from Supergirl, I like his portrayal of Superman.
Yep.
So, like, anyways, getting back to what the whole thing about this is it's
makes sense for Batman.
Like, you gotta stay colorful.
And
they need to be colorful.
And from the trailer that we saw for Wonder Woman, it looks very colorful and fun.
And bright.
So that's good.
So far,
so good.
Till we get to the movie, and, like, that's just the first quarter, and then the rest of it's, like, dark and shadowy.
Well, we'll find out
They tend to tease you.
Mm-hmm.
DC has a tendency to put things you're expecting in the trailer, and you're like, this is going to be a really good movie, and then you go and watch it, and you're like, all the good stuff was in the trailer.
Yeah.
But that could be different, because I expected that of Wonder Woman, the first one, and it was super, and I loved it, so...
Except for that last little bit.
Yeah, but even then, that wasn't too bad. I'm okay with if the movie can also have a nighttime. The whole movie didn't take place at nighttime. They had a nighttime, and that was okay.
Here's how I can judge a film in the theater. If I turn and look at my date in the theater, in the middle of an action scene, and I can't see her, that means it's too dark. And there was a part in that film, I looked over, and I couldn't see the person sitting beside me.
Alrighty. Okay, that seems like a good place to end the podcast. Unless there's anything else we need to discuss. I don't think there is.
I don't think so.
No.
I think we covered everything.
I think we did. That's been our coronal mass ejection podcast for this week. Thanks for...
Does that mean our brains are coming out?
Maybe. So, listeners, thanks for coming by. Check out Dan's Temporal Trek Podcast. Check out the Soulforge Podcast. Check out Watchathon and Rassilon. Listen to all the back episodes of Rusted Robot Podcast. Leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed what we've said. And even if you can't stand us and you're still listening, leave a 5-star review anyway. But until next time, that's been Sean and Kitty and Josh. And remember, science is magic that works. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Rusted Robot Podcast is your best source for geek-style pop culture news.
I could do this all day.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.